everyone, and welcome back to another World of Tanks console video. My name is Inozach, and today we have a community replay submission from SteelTiiTan in his Captured King Tiger. And I will be honest, he had actually submitted this prior to me doing my tank review, but as I already had a video for it, I decided to go ahead with my own video and use his for a community replay. Now this is one of the first ones that I actually have on for a community replay, and feel free to submit any of those that you have as well. Focusing on his replay, I just want to point out to begin with that SteelTiiTan has the devil's luck in this type of matchmaking, a predominantly tier 8 game, both even on each side, one tier 10, one tier 9. This is seriously the devil's luck in matchmaking. I need that luck. But carrying over, so the Captured King Tiger is basically the Tiger 2 variant, the American Tiger 2 variant with the 88mm. That is mostly featured on majority of the German tanks, with 240 alpha, and I believe the penetration is around 213 or something. It was a little bit odd for the Captured King Tiger, but very good with reload, and that is what the 88's accuracy and rate of fire become very good or outstanding, and made the Tiger 2 a very fearsome tank on the battlefield. And the Edelweiss sneaks in a shot. Oh, never mind, it was the King Tiger, and he manages to get a snapshot into the Edelweiss over there. So he has 50 AP rounds loaded, 20 APCR and 2 HE, and that is very good because the HE on an 88mm isn't really all that well. So you can see here he begins to side scrape, and unfortunately the Carnarvon right there just had his tracks eat it, or his shot actually dropped very much. So the King Tiger comes out and decides to play along, but I feel like this was his first mistake here, in that he is actually angled the wrong way and panics a little bit there in that first part. But the 88 has its great reload and manages to put one back into the King Tiger. T-28 prototype getting a good shot in, and the Carnarvon starts getting focused. So damage the ammo rack, has him tracked. This Carnarvon is just an open spot to the to his Captured King Tiger, and you can see his side scraping is doing very well, and while E4 just decides to roll over and do work. The VK101P pops out, so he immediately switches over to his APCR rounds and baits him into shooting the tracks. However, that one was a bit more of a payback, so he can keep the VK101P. Doesn't have a very good repair crew, so he gets that. So he takes one from the King Tiger, damaging his engine, and manages to bounce the VK101P's second attempt at it with his turret. Very lucky, actually. But starting to use the APCR rounds on the King Tiger, and right away you can see him aiming at that flat turret on the front. It's a very obvious weak point when using APCR with over 200 millimeters of penetration. You'll pretty much go right through the Tiger 2's turret, or in this case the King Tiger, or even the Captured Tiger, as they have the same turrets. So baiting his shot, side scraping, and I feel like the Tiger 2 in the tech tree is basically where you learn to side scrape, and he's showing you how to effectively use side scraping to your advantage. Now he has to be careful here. He's exposing the rear of the turret to the King Tiger, and he's trying to focus the E4 to help out his friends. Manages to track the E4, but the Carnarvon is pushing up. So quickly pulling up, the E4 makes a quick dash forward, dodging his shot, getting tracked, and this is where I think he just gave up. Loading the APCR, hitting the rear, didn't stand a chance, and with SteelTiiTan's amazing reload of 5.5 seconds, he pretty much works over the E4. It's a tier 10 tank, and this player just decided on giving it to SteelTiiTan. There was nothing he could do in that situation. The 88 was going to out-trade him any day, as long as SteelTiiTan didn't take the shot in the first place. And again, right here, you'll see him pop out, take his quick shot, but receives an APCR round right to the top of the hull. So he quickly turns around and side scrapes, and wow, a very even roll at 240. The Pershing comes up and takes that kill with the captured King Tiger out of the way, the Caernarvon out the way. Now SteelTiiTan can focus the two more devastating tanks, the VK-101P and this captured King Tiger. We're just holding out on this side. So he gets a spot there on the Stark Sturzbong S1, and I just want you guys to keep that in mind, as that'll probably play in a lot better later on down the video. So one of the things that always bugs me is this VK-101P is the brand new Tier 8 German Super Heavy, and probably my arch nemesis in tanks at this point, because I never have luck penetrating him. But he kind of messes up on this one and gives SteelTiiTan a very good shot at his turret, and he sneaks a shot right in there, and I believe that probably hit the side of the commander's hatch. Yeah, you can slightly see it, but he wastes an unfortunate APCR round right there. So the VK-101P is out. His team is obviously winning this end. The enemy team outnumber them, and a snapshot to finish that off. Great shot, great play. However, they're outnumbered in a 5-7 in this engagement. The enemy team is 2 out of 3 people on the base. They can obviously cap them out by the time the friendly team can get there. However, they make a brazen play in the kill all no cap scenario that has become very synonymous with the tanks community, as they decide to take off the base and go for a kill all when you have overwhelming numbers. However, I feel like this is a bad play, and you can see he obviously is very good with his SteelTiiTan is obviously used to his view range, because he outspots the M4A1 with that and his crew, and didn't have his 6th sense go off until after he was fired. But as I was saying, there's become a synonymous thing with the community where in majority of your games you have teams that are either going to cap, because even if they have an overwhelming advantage, you never underestimate the underdogs. And then you have those kill all games where the enemy team or your team just want to kill everything on the other side, as you gain more experience for that. And SteelTiiTan still managing to get perfect side scraping, just taking shots from a blind tank as well as the Ag Tiger, and the Ag Tiger gives up and gives him the final kill there, or at least one of the final kills. So now they're slowly managing to creep their way back up, and the captured King Tiger pulls up, and I bet you he was wishing he had an APCR round. Those AP rounds are troubling. They have good shell velocity. I believe it's 1,020 meters a second, and he proves me wrong by just going into the side of the captured King Tiger there. Nevertheless, moving forward, their team manages to pull back 3 kills, 4 kills for that Pershing that we saw earlier, 27 penetrations, 4 enemies spotted, 16 critical hits, and 5 assisted damage. I want to say those are critical because that's normally what those top ones are, but I don't remember what it is. So moving forward, we have the AT-15 in the base, and that's a heavily armored Tier 8, the Tier 8 British tank destroyer, and SteelTiiTan deciding to finally use those HE rounds on the S1. But the 88 just can't overmatch that armor, and with the siege mode engaged and that armor angling, the effective angle just means that his 88 doesn't overmatch the armor. He can't penetrate even if he tried from that. And so his team decides to pull back, focus on the tank that is obviously the bigger threat. The S1 is a threat to most people, but the AT-15 is capturing the base. And an amazing snapshot. Great play there, SteelTiiTan. As obviously one of the most impressive things besides the ricochet from the idiotic E4 that was suicidal. So, up to 4 kills now, 28 pens. SteelTiiTan is definitely a great competitor on the battlefield. I don't want to be on the opposite side of his gun, because I feel like I would probably run away in a very cowardly manner. How very un-American of me. However, they all know where the S1 is going to be. It's obviously starting to run back into that corner, so SteelTiiTan, very using the communication wheel, and this is very important. Not a lot of people realize that there's a communication wheel that you can, even if you're not in party chat, even if you're not in a party or the platoon, you can use to communicate with other team members. And again, effectively using it to at least plan a strategic attack on the S1, because with the 105 having a 390 alpha, he's a one-shot for the S1. So obviously, even if he gets killed or if he sacrifices himself for the spot, you at least want your friendlies to be able to take out the S1. Now, however, he's not going to be suicidal, so I will give you that part. Even if you are trying to communicate with your team here, it's obvious that you were planning ahead not to die. Spoilers? So I believe the Pershing is up on the top right there. You can see he doesn't use the normal. I use the full map in the right corner. He uses the compass, and that's very odd for most higher tier players. They or veterans tend to stick with the small mini map in the corner rather than the compass, but he's obviously very fond of that. So the S1's been spotted by the Pershing, and I believe that's the other King Tiger to his left there. If you see it on the mini map, he's right there. And this is a part of the replay I didn't really agree with, in a sense that he's just firing at the debris, trying to blow through it to penetrate the S1. That's all well and dandy, but at the end of the day, it comes down to, if he was behind the house and you can get closer, shouldn't getting closer be more important? He thought he had a shot. They tried breaking through the cover, but the S1 got a little bit smart, decided to engage one-on-one with the Pershing. However, the King Tiger behind him actually gets a penetrate, and you can see that does a healthy dose of scaring, as the S1 is just panicking and trying to deal with multiple tanks from multiple different angles. And at this point, I just assumed he was keeping fire to kind of rattle the S1 into making a bad judgment play, and the Pershing just taking advantage of it. However, credit to where credit is due, this Pershing, even on the pinch of life, is at least keeping a spot on the S1 so that his team knows exactly what move the S1 will make. And right here, I kind of disagree with this. That should have at least done something of penetration, but you know, the reticle stuff. I hate that. When it lights up red, you should be able to penetrate, but for some reason it doesn't. In that case, it was white, but it showed a clear outline of the tank. I felt it should have penetrated, but personal reasons. So the Pershing is putting some pressure by jumping into the cap circle, doing a very good job, and the S1 messes up, but so does SteelTiiTan. I guess in that moment they both decided to hit the panic button and penetrate. And this S1 is still putting up a great fight, and I like that. He's not suiciding at the end of the battle, he's going out in a blaze of glory. And keep in mind that with the 105 on the S1, 390 again will kill SteelTiiTan, so all he needs to do is have SteelTiiTan mess up once, and unfortunately he doesn't. He plays the right move, and the S1 just gets outplayed in the end. Great play to the team on SteelTiiTan's side. They were holding up really well, and they pull out a victory. And I'm just gonna pause this here. He does that every time. I have to because it jumps forward. It doesn't. Normally with my replays, I tend to pause or give it time because I know I'm going to be using that video. That I kind of go through each thing or each ribbon or medal at slower pace so that I know when I commentary on it, it'll be a little bit of time. But a 160,965 silver profit with a 8,842 with a daily double. 4 enemies destroyed, 6,501 damage, 28 penetrations, 4 enemies detected, 2,464 assisted damage, and 3,950. And I feel like that is probably the best game I've seen with this Captured King Tiger. And a great replay at that. He effectively used his armor to outplay his opponents and knowingly played the better game in this replay. With an ace tanker, a high caliber, a steel wall, and a Confederate medal, he definitely deserved this base experience, as you're about to see. The numbers on the top kind of give that away. Bravo, sir. I will give you a slow clap for that one, and although it doesn't sound like it, I can't wake up anyone in my house because they would probably kill me for it. But 2,807 base experience is overwhelmingly, in just a simple sense, overkill. I would say that is really good and one of the highest base experience I've seen in the past few months. 6,501 damage, double the damage of anyone else on his team, and did 2,000 more damage than the tier 10 on the enemy team, the T124 doing 4,270. And that is a clear distinction that I should make, because that is a tier 10 tank, and he managed to outdo it in damage in a tier 8 tank. Regardless of premium, being able to outdo your tier 10s that have a better alpha damage is never, not to say in the least, but very impressive. And I believe it carries on for slightly more. He does submit these on here, and I don't know, because this is in a YouTube format. So Ace Tanker doing 99%. This is a obvious with that 2,807. He definitely set the bar high for anyone to outdo him with an Ace Tanker, and this is going to be impressive. Steel Wall received more potential damage than any other player, at least 1,000 hit points, and survive. Receiving at least 11 hits will also qualify you for this. And I say receiving, but also blocking that. And that is definitely way above and beyond, as that is twice his hit points, I believe. This 1650, a little bit under twice, but still, nevertheless, he almost 4,000 damage with the captured King Tiger. And although he didn't highlight it, the Confederate badge is in the right. I believe at this point he even was stunned by it himself. So thank you, SteelTiiTan, for this submission. It was no doubt hands down one of the best replays I've seen from a console player in a while. And that is not to say that you're not outdoing anyone on PC. This replay was very impressive. You've also submitted to me a few others that I'll be scrolling through. So if you guys enjoy some of SteelTiiTan's gameplay, stick around. Hit a like and subscribe on the video, or subscribe to my channel, as SteelTiiTan has submitted quite a few videos that I will be uploading, so he will be a very prominent highlighter or community replay submissioner for the next few weeks. That's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.